Howdy you all, welcome to our channel where we round out the top 10 cowboy romance movies of all time. Now grab a seat by the campfire, saddle up and get ready for a thrilling ride through the heartland of love and adventure. Number 10. Far and Away 1992. Far and Away is directed by Ron Howard. The stars are Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, and Thomas Gibson. Joseph, Tom Cruise, and his landlord's daughter Shannon, Nicole Kidman, travel from Ireland to America in hopes of claiming free land in Oklahoma. The pair get sidetracked in Boston, where Joseph takes up boxing to support himself. When he loses a pivotal fight, the two are left penniless. Now, faced with poverty, the two must find new ways to scrape by. As their affection for each other grows, Joseph questions whether he is truly what Shannon needs in her life.
I made more money than you and you're jealous!
I can make money as fast as you can, you just watch me scrapper!
9. Australia 2008. Australia is directed by Baz Luhrmann. The stars are Nicole Kidman, Hugh Jackman, and David Wenham. With the globe on the brink of World War II, Lady Sarah Ashley, Nicole Kidman, travels from Britain to Australia to inspect a cattle ranch she inherited. Reluctantly joining forces with a rock local known as the Drover, Hugh Jackman, she sets out on a cattle drive across hundreds of miles of harsh terrain to save her ranch. But when they finally reach the town of Darwin, they must contend with the same Japanese bombers that just rained death upon Pearl Harbor.
Well, I'm not comfortable if you change into something a little less, constricting.
You keep your eyes on the road.
8. Down in the Valley 2005. Down in the Valley is directed by David Jacobson. The stars are Ed Norton, Evan Rachel Wood, and David Morse. On a trip to the beach, a teenage girl named Toby, Evan Rachel Wood, meets a charismatic stranger named Harlan Edward Norton, who dresses like a cowboy and claims to be a former ranch hand. The pair feel an instant attraction and begin a relationship, but her father, David Morse, a lawman, suspicious of her lover.
Do anything you want to do. You can be anybody you want to be. You just have to decide on it.
7. Hidalgo 2004. Hidalgo is directed by Joe Johnston. The stars are Viggo Mortensen, Omar Sharif, and Louis Lombard. Rugged cowboy Frank Hopkins, Viggo Mortensen, is an expert horseman who performs in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. When affluent Sheikh Riyadh Omar Sharif, piqued by tales of Hopkins' talent, challenged Hopkins to prove himself in a treacherous long-distance horse race called the Ocean of Fire. Hopkins is forced to oblige. In the Middle East, with his American Mustang, he must race against thoroughbred horses ridden by the best riders in the world, with his reputation and his life at stake. Six. Legends of the Fall 1994. Legends of the Fall is directed by Edward Zwick. The stars are Brad Pitt, Anthony Hopkins, and Aidan Quinn. In early 20th century Montana, William Ludlow, Anthony Hopkins, lives in the wilderness with his sons Tristan, Alfred, and Samuel. Eventually, the unconventional but close-knit family encounters tragedy when Samuel is killed in World War I. Tristan and Alfred survive their tours of duty, but soon after they return home, both men fall for Samuel's gorgeous fiancée Susanna, and their intense rivalry begins to destroy the family.
You blame my son for Samuel's death! Samuel chose to be a soldier, and soldiers die, sent to their slaughter by men in government, parasites like you!
5. Urban Cowboy 1980. Urban Cowboy is directed by James Briggs. The stars are John Travolta, Debra Winger, and Scott Glenn. After moving to Pasadena, Texas, country boy Bud Davis, John Travolta, starts hanging around a bar called Dillay's, where he falls in love with Sissy Debra Winger, a cowgirl who believes the sexes are equal. They eventually marry, but their relationship is turbulent due to Bud's traditional view of gender roles. Jealousy over his rival, Wes Scott Glenn, leads to their separation. Bud attempts to win Sissy back by triumphing at Gillay's mechanical bull riding competition.
Oh, shit, bud! She rides better than you do!
4. The Horse Whisperer, 1998. The Horse Whisperer is directed by Robert Redford. The stars are Robert Redford, Kristen Scott Thomas, and Scarlett Johansson. When teenage Grace, Scarlett Johansson, is traumatized by a riding accident that badly injures her horse, her mother Annie, Kristen Scott Thomas, a high-powered New York Magazine editor, realizes Grace will only recover once the horse is healed. She takes them both to a secluded Montana ranch where legendary horse whisperer Tom Booker, Robert Redford, begins to heal the horse, and also stirs long-dormant feelings in Annie that lead her to question her marriage and choice of career.
Be grateful. They take real good care with you.
Is this how you're gonna make me pay my phone bill?
No, ma'am. That part's extra.
3. The Man from Snowy River, 1982. The Man from Snowy River is directed by George Miller. The stars are Kirk Douglas, Tom Berlinson, and Sigrid Thornton. After the death of his father, proud young Jim Craig, Tom Berlinson sets out to become his own man. Taking a job with horse rancher Harrison Kirk Douglas, Craig is treated poorly by the more experienced cowboys, but wins the heart of the rancher's daughter, Jessica Sigrid Thornton, when he helps her break a high-strung cult and later saves her life. When he is unfairly blamed for the loss of an expensive horse, Craig fights to restore his honor and prove that he's worthy of Jessica's hand. 2. Open Range, 2003. Open Range is directed by Kevin Costner. The stars are Robert Duvall, Kevin Costner, and Annette Bening. Buzz Spearman, Robert Duvall, and his co-hands Charlie, Kevin Costner, and Moss, Abraham Bernoulli, are driving cattle across a large expanse of country. When Moss ventures into a sparse village to buy a few necessities, he is met with violent hostility from Denton Baxter, an affluent landowner, and his right-hand man, Poole. When Moss doesn't come back, Buzz and Charlie realize he's in trouble, so they plot to get him back and get revenge on those who captured him.
I know that if I don't ever see you again, that I meant everything I said to you. And I appreciate everything you said to me. Ain't nothing that happened in this old town been a surprise, except you.
1. Brokeback Mountain, 2005. Brokeback Mountain is directed by Ang Lee. The stars are Heath Ledger, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Anna Faris. In 1963, rodeo cowboy Jack Twist and ranch hand Ennis Delmar are hired by rancher Joe Aguirre as sheep herders in Wyoming. One night on Brokeback Mountain, Jack makes a drunken pass at Ennis that is eventually reciprocated. Though Ennis marries his longtime sweetheart Alma and Jack marries a floor rodeo rider, the two men keep up their tortured and sporadic affair over the course of 20 years.
And I'll say it just once.
Go ahead.
Tell you what, we could have had a good life together. Fucking real good life. Had us a place of our own. But you didn't want it, Ennis. So what we got now is Brokeback Mountain. Everything's built on that. That's all we got, boy. Fucking all. So I hope you know that if you don't ever know the rest.
Well, folks, there you have it. Our top 10 cowboy romance movies of all time. Whether you're a fan of heartwarming tales or explosive love stories set against the backdrop of the Wild West, these movies are sure to make you saddle up and embark on an unforgettable adventure. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride, you all. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment letting us know your favorite cowboy romance flick. Until next time, happy trails and keep those cowboy dreams alive.